Alrighty guys, back to our tutorial series for Sentinels of the Multiverse. And we've moved on to Sentinels of Earth Prime, and to be honest, I don't play much of Sentinels of Earth Prime, but I probably should play more because these characters are pretty interesting and they're obviously, I wouldn't say rip-offs of the originals, but kind of taking a core mechanism and then altering it and changing it in some way, which makes it pretty neat. So, I would highly recommend if you enjoy Sentinels of Multiverse, which of course, I love that. I wouldn't be doing all these tutorial series, but if you enjoy Sentinels of Multiverse, you might want to check out Sentinels of Earth Prime and figure out if any of these characters are your spice of life as well. So, without further ado, let's get to PSEUDO. PSEUDO, which is our hero number 44. Hero number 44. This is our 44th tutorial series on Sentinels of the Multiverse. And PSEUDO. And again, like normal, we will scroll through so you can read through his background history. And you can put it on pause if you want to read through, if there's something you missed. All right. And of course, he has a variant as well. Just a couple paragraphs there. All right. So that is his background. Let's look at his cards. PSEUDO comes with 27 hit points and brute force power. PSEUDO deals one target 2 melee damage. You may play one shape. And the variant, 28 hit points. Grood Infiltrator power. Reveal the top card of one deck. Replace it or discard it. Draw a card. So, two completely different powers. One's more of an attack style. One's more of a defensive style. He comes with 14 different cards. And so it looks like we're going to look at all of these. 2 copies of Bait and Switch. One shot. Take the top 2 cards of the villain trash. Put one on the top and one on the bottom of the villain deck. So you can manipulate the villain very nicely. 2 copies, though. 3 copies of Barbed Spines. Ongoing, it's a shape and limited, so he's going to be all about different shapes. When this card enters play, PSEUDO deals each non-hero target 1 projectile damage, then destroy each shape other than this one. Each time PSEUDO is dealt damage by a non-hero target, he deals that target 2 melee damage, because he's got big spikes coming out of him. There are 3 copies of that. 3 copies of Clobbering Arms. Ongoing, shape, limited. When this card enters play, PSEUDO deals one target 3 melee damage, then destroy each shape other than this one. At the end of your turn, PSEUDO deals one target 3 melee damage, so it's all about attacking in that shape. That 3 copies of that card, and then 3 copies of Gru Battle Shifter. At the start of your turn, you may play a shape. Power. Until the end of your next turn, increase damage dealt by PSEUDO by 1. You may play one shape. That's pretty nice. At the start of your turn, he can play a shape, and then if he uses his power, he can play a second shape. So the 2 shapes we just looked at, the Barbed Spikes and the Clobbering Arms, he could actually play both of those in one round by shifting, which is super cool, and it's thematically and mechanically the cards that we just looked at, which is very helpful. Insubstantial Transmutation. Ongoing, shape, limited. When this card enters play, draw a card, then destroy every other shape. And then PSEUDO is immune to melee and projectile damage. And then we have 3 copies of Malleable Flesh. Each time you play a shape, PSEUDO regains a hit point. And then it has a power to draw 3 cards and discard each non-shape card drawn this way. 3 copies of that card. 3 copies of Mind Over Matter. It's an ongoing limited card. Reduce psychic damage dealt to hero targets by 1. Each time a hero target deals damage, they may change the type of that damage to psychic. There you go. 3 copies of that. 3 copies of Perfect Disguise. Ongoing shape limited. When this card enters play, reveal the top 2 cards of a deck. Discard one of them and put the other on top of that deck. Then destroy each shape other than this one. PSEUDO is immune to damage dealt by environment targets. As he's blended in. No one knows who he is. That's cool. 3 copies of Preserved Self-Image. And I've got to itch my eye, so give me just a second. Sorry. Preserved Self-Image. 1 shot. Reveal cards from the top of your deck until 3 shapes are revealed. Put them into your hand. Discard the other cards revealed this way. Shuffle your trash into your deck. And either draw a card or play a card. A lot of good ways to get all your important shapes and get them ready to play. And I think there's like images of all the different shapes. So you got the arms. You got the... yeah, you've got the invisibility one. Yeah, so cool image there. There is 3 copies of that card. 3 copies of Risky Impersonation. Ongoing shape limited. When this card enters play, discard 1 card. Then destroy each shape other than this one. Each time a villain card would enter play, PSEUDO may deal himself 5 psychic damage. If he is dealt damage this way, discard that card instead. Okay, so I mean, okay, not bad. Keep those bad cards from entering play and take a little bit of damage. I mean, some of these cards you draw are going to do 2 damage to every hero. That's like 8 damage, so you might as well just have one guy take 5 damage and get rid of the card. 3 copies of that card. 3 copies of Stealth Form. When this card enters play, it's an ongoing, it's a shape, and it's limited. When this card enters play, discard the top card of one deck, then destroy each shape other than this one. The first time PSEUDO would be dealt damage each turn, you may redirect that damage to another hero target. If you do, increase the next damage dealt to PSEUDO by 1. 3 copies of that. There's also 3 copies of Telepathic Coordination. 1 shot. Each player draws 3 cards and discards 2 cards. So that's, I mean, every hero is only going to get 1 card, but still drawing 3 cards and then discarding 2 gives players a much, drawing 3 cards, picking 1, and then discarding is much better than just drawing 1 card. Much better. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that, where all heroes can draw 3 cards and discard 2. I'm trying to think if there's another situation. That's very powerful, especially with 3 copies in your deck. Woo! Thickened Build. It's an ongoing shape, limited. When this card enters play, PSEUDO regains 3 hit points. Then destroy every shape other than this one, and reduce damage dealt to PSEUDO by 1. So 3 copies of that. And finally, 2 copies of Try Not to Think About It. It's a 1 shot. Search the villain deck for a card. Shuffle the rest of the villain deck, then put that card on the top or the bottom of the villain deck. He's reading his minds about what his plans are. Very nice, very thematic. Alright, so he's got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different shapes that he can do. And you can only have each one in. He kind of reminds me of the the naturalist. The guy that can turn into a crocodile or gazelle or a rhino, and then based upon what his form is, he gets a special ability. It's kind of the same thing going on here, but he's got a lot more shapes. So it's a lot more to manage on him, but I still think it's very reasonable, and I think he's very good at... He'd be a fun character to try out and play. I don't ever remember actually playing this character, but he looks like... drawing cards. He's got a little bit of helpfulness to look at the villain trash, especially to manipulate the villain. And you know how I love to manipulate the villain, and when they're just playing or not able to play cards. We played against an environment the other day, and one of our heroes just nullified it, and every time just put something on it so they couldn't draw. And it was like it wasn't even there. And it's the same thing with the villain deck with PSEUDO. Now he can manipulate what cards he's playing, or if worse comes to worse, he can take take 5 damage and discard that card. Which again, some villains will put cards in play, do 2 damage to every hero, and then have an ongoing ability or something that we can't deal with. But this is so much. This can be very helpful if it's done at the right time. And he's got a nice variety of 3/3/3/3/3 in the shape departments. And again, we can really use that really wimpy card that the villain has, or that really bad card that we definitely don't want to see, we can put it on the bottom of the deck. That's pretty good. So definitely, if you like playing a character that likes to manipulate the villain, making sure that only cards come into play that is okay with you, or ways to change what cards he can put into play, or completely remove them, taking a little bit of damage yourself. Obviously, playing your different shapes out there to give you different bonuses, damage reduction, extra attack points, extra attacks, all that fun stuff, and kind of manipulating that is kind of cool. It's definitely it's going to be a very interactive character to play, and I think he's going to play really, really well. So we can't wait to try out PSEUDO, our number 44 hero in our tutorial series. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them in the comments section down below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to do all of the different heroes. And once all the heroes are done, then we'll do all the villains and eventually all the environments once those are done as well. And you'll be able to see every single card in the game and hear about my thoughts and feelings about the different characters and what I think of them, and if they're fun to play and how hard they are, or, whatever I think about those different characters. So until next time, my friends, take care of yourself, have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.